With a Today exclusive, many people try to be colorblind, but Paul Carson has learned firsthand it's not always easy. You see, Paul is not a stranger to glances and stares ever since his skin began turning a fairly bright shade of blue. And Paul joins us this morning along with his girlfriend, Jackie Northrup, and NBC News Chief Medical Editor, Dr. Nancy Snyderman. Good morning to all of you.
Hi, Matt.
How you doing, Paul?
Okay.
You know, people are watching right now and they're saying, yup, his skin is blue.
Yeah,
and
blue guy.
And they want to know how it happened. Give me the brief version of how this began.
I put colloidal silver directly on my face.
Because you had some severe skin problems about the time of the death of your father, some stress-related. You had some peeling and cracking and irritation.
That's right.
And so you put colloidal silver. Can you explain to people what that is?
It's just a liquid that you make through electrolysis with silver and distilled water.
How did you decide to use this? Where did you hear about this? Did a doctor tell you to do it?
Oh, no. I did it all on my own.
How'd you find out about it?
Originally, I just saw an ad for a colloidal silver generator in a magazine, and the picture stuck in my head, like a song might stick in your head. And I had a friend that had severe petroleum poisoning, and I heard that the colloidal silver was helpful for that, and that's how I
started using it. You started applying it topically to the skin problem, but also, at some point, you were taking it internally too.
It was years later when I applied it directly to my skin.
Okay, so you started off taking it internally?
Yes, that's right.
Now, any medical supervision at all once you started this? Did any doctor get on board and say, do it, don't do it, here are the problems, here are the side effects?
No, sir.
Nobody. Did you know that skin discoloration was a potential side effect of this?
No. What I found out was that your facial tissues is where your body will store any excess silver. Drinking it, there was no change in my color whatsoever.
All right. So once you started drinking it and then applying it topically, it fixed what you were trying to fix, correct?
No, actually, it didn't. It didn't stop the dermatitis. It just reduced the inflammation when my skin was peeling and cracking.
So if you weren't getting spectacular results, why did you keep taking it? Because I should tell our viewers, to some extent, you're still using colloidal silver, although not nearly in the same quantity that you once did.
This is true.
So why did you keep using it?
Because of some profound benefits that I had received from using it. Well, like no more acid reflux, no more sinus troubles. My arthritis went away.
So, in your opinion, you had to do the old scales of the weight thing, okay? My skin is turning blue, and a fairly bright shade of blue, but on the other hand, I'm feeling better in some other areas.
That's true. That's true.
It's my understanding, Nancy, let me bring you into this, that colloidal silver is something that people used a long time ago, and for the most part, the use of it died out when antibiotics were invented.
Yeah, Roman soldiers, this goes back to 4000 BC, and Roman soldiers were known to put silver coins in water and milk because it kept things fresher a little longer. But with the advent of antibiotics, a lot of people stopped using silver because it wasn't needed any longer to sort of keep bacteria from multiplying.
What's the fear on the medical community's part? In addition to his skin, what else could be happening in his body because of his use of colloidal silver?
Well, I think it's fair to say that with the color you see on the outside is the same color on the inside. This is
organs?
Not just organs. And doctors are always concerned that because silver is a heavy metal that can damage internal organs like liver and kidneys. And I know Paul and I may look at this very, very differently because I obviously come from the medical establishment, and I think Paul looks at the medical establishment with askew. So it's not something I could recommend because there's no science behind it, and yes, I worry about the safety. And the FDA has been very strong, saying that there's no reason to take it.
Paul, any side effects that you've experienced, like kidney damage that you know of, seizures, neurological problems, headaches, anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Nothing?
Nothing. Except
the skin. Jackie, you met Paul. His skin was already blue, correct?
Correct.
And did it bother you at first meeting?
It was a shock initially, but I already knew the person that I had been talking to. And so I really didn't see the blue.
You met on the phone, I should mention at first. If you had met in person, first time, and you saw him, do you think you'd still be together today?
Yes, I do.
Well, talk to
because
me.
he's an incredible person.
Well, and you know what? And I've spoken to you on the phone, and I get that same sense. How does this affect your daily life, Paul? I mean, how do people treat you? Or do you avoid people in some ways?
Oh, I do tend to avoid people in some ways, but then I always did. I've always been sort of reclusive. This change in skin color has obviously brought on scrutiny that I would never ordinarily have experienced.
Is it possible to go to a restaurant, and not feel the stares?
Oh, it's everywhere I go.
And how do you feel about that?
Oh, I've gotten kind of used to it, become rather inured to it. Occasionally I get a negative response of some kind. A lot of people will come up and ask me about it. And
which is okay, but with you. You would like people to understand it more.
Yeah. Depending on how I'm approached, it conditions my response.
You've been in New York for the weekend. I know people in New York have been very nice to you, but you said something to me on the phone, and I hope I'm not telling something out of school. You said this to me on Friday. You said, you know what, Matt, it's really not about what you look like, is it? It's your character.
That's right. That's what matters with anyone.
And clearly, Jackie, that's what matters to you.
Yes.
Any chance this is reversible, Doctor?
No. Paul's going to stay blue, and
if he keeps using it, will he get bluer?
no, he's probably pretty well saturated at this point. I think the silver that's in his body is really showing. But
We're
even
smiling.
if he stops,
We're not making a joke out of this. It's just, we haven't dealt with this before.
But if I can play doctor for a second, I know he hasn't seen a doctor in a long time, and you haven't been tested for heavy metals in a long time. I think it would be worthwhile to at least make sure that kidneys are okay and liver's okay, and then I'll bug out of your life. But the
Are you
blueness
opposed
is
to
here to
that?
stay.
Could we arrange that?
Oh, I might not be able to levitate anymore.
Would you be opposed to us just kind of getting a thorough checkup with you?
Oh, maybe not right now.
Will you come back for that and think about it?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Paul, thanks very much. It's nice of you to be here. I appreciate it. It's good to meet you. Jackie, good luck.
Thank
it's nice to meet you.
You too.
Doctor, as always.